Let us understand the address of our very own, very special electron. Till your secondary stages, you understood what is an electron. You came to know that it is present in something called a shell. You used to draw a nucleus, and around it, you used to draw shells in which you used to place electrons. Today, we are going into the internal study of the atom. Let us understand descriptively how an electron is positioned within a shell. For that, we have to be very slow. We are going into preliminary, very simple approach to the atomic model, which is based on quantum mechanics. For the address of an electron, we need four quantum numbers. These are principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, and spin quantum number. Now, someone says his address is 24 Galaxy Apartment, Park Street, Rajouri Garden, New Delhi. So I believe that the person is correct and he's giving me his correct address. So I want to meet the person. First of all, I need to reach New Delhi. Once I reach New Delhi, I would be searching for Rajouri Garden. I have reached Rajouri Garden, then I'm going to reach Park Street. At Park Street, I would find where is Galaxy Apartment. And there, of course, I would reach the flat number 24 and I would ring the bell and hopefully I'll meet the person there. So today I'm telling you on this similar pattern, how can we trace the exact address of an electron. So guys, let us go into the journey of electron. A simple atomic model, if I show you, has four shells: K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. I want to remind you there are infinite number of shells in an atom. So please do not confine yourself to only four shells. There is N is equal to 5, N is equal to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and so on. So today I am telling you how does it work. If you understand, there is a principal quantum number which is actually New Delhi in our case. This is the main shell. So N is equal to 1. For N is equal to 1, L has to be N minus 1. N minus 1 is given by 1 minus 1, that is 0. M cannot have a plus 0 or a minus 0 because 0 is not known to have plus or minus values. And there will be two electrons in the first shell, one spinning anti-clockwise given by plus half and one spinning clockwise given by minus half. If I go to the second shell, that is L shell, then the L shell has two subshells, 0 and 1. Please go through the formula which I have written at the top. L is equal to N minus 1. So for N is equal to 2, if you substitute N as 2, then 2 minus 1 is 1. But in this case, we are going to have the lower values as well. So we are going to have all odd values. That means 0 has to be included every time. So if it's M shell, N is equal to 3, then according to the formula N minus 1, it can be 0, 1, 2. And for fourth shell, it has to be 0, 1, 2, 3. One interesting feature I would like to represent here, 0 is coming multiple times, 1 is coming multiple times. Do not get confused. So this is the first shell which has one street whose number has been given 1s. Second shell has individual two different subshells, two different streets. One street is known as 2s, the other is known as 2p. Third shell has three streets or three subshells given by 3s, 3p and 3d. Fourth shell has four subshells or streets given by 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f. Going a little further. So for every value of L, M can have values from minus L to 0 to plus L. So if L is 0, then M has to be 0 because there is no plus 0 or minus 0. If it is 0 here again, then again M is 0. If L is 1, then M has to be minus 1, 0 or plus 1. If it is 0, then m again has to be 0. For 1, it is again minus 1, 0, plus 1. For L is equal to 2, m according to this formula would be minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. Again here for fourth shell, for 0, m is 0. For L1, m is minus 1, 0, plus 1. For L is 2, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. For L is equal to 3, m is equal to minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. I don't want to bore you further with this. Let's come straight to the topic. That means L is the subshell, which means if there is a big town, in the town there are a few streets. Those streets are given by azimuthal or angular quantum number. In that particular street, there is further a smaller area where some bungalows or some flats or apartments are built where people reside. There are some commercial places. That is magnetic quantum number, which in the life of electron is known as orbital. So orbital is the space, actual space. It is basically a space around this nucleus where probability of finding the electron is maximum. Electron cannot remain stationary because it's an electromagnetic wave. It usually travels, and we have read earlier it goes to higher levels by absorbing heat, and it tends to come back by emitting light of a particular frequency. So let us clarify ourselves perfectly. In its ground state, in its native state, where we say yes, everything is fine in the life of electron and it is just residing in his home at that present moment, then according to that, what I am teaching you here is that the number of shell is given by k shell. That is 1, L would be 0, m would be 0. That means the orbital would be 1s orbital, and it has 2 electrons in it, plus half and minus half. That also specifies that each orbital must have only 2 electrons, one rotating in anti-clockwise direction and one in clockwise direction. I would like to put it like this: if there are two siblings staying in the same room, if they do not share a good chemistry, then one is turning head on one side and the other on the other side. This usually happens with lot of couples as well. So what I'm trying to emphasize here, the orbital has 2 electrons. Mind you, both the electrons are negatively charged. Negative, negative repel each other. So it's better now both of them rotate in opposite directions. So L shell, my dear students, has 2 subshells. Each subshell further has orbitals. So second shell has 2 subshells, 4 orbitals. Each orbital has 2 electrons, in which one electron is rotating anti-clockwise and the other clockwise. So there are total 4 orbitals. Each orbital has 2 electrons and number of electrons becomes 8. Third shell has 3 subshells. Each subshell further, according to this classification, has 9 orbitals. Each orbital further has 2 electrons. So total number of electrons here becomes 18. N shell has 4 subshells. Each subshell further would work according to the above formula, minus L to 0 to plus L, and together we get 16 orbitals. Each orbital has 2 electrons, so total number of electrons becomes 32. Now let us try to sum this up for you. If I say there is a first shell, also known as K shell, it has maximum 2 electrons. Second shell has maximum 8 electrons. Third shell has maximum 18 electrons. Fourth shell has maximum 32 electrons. Fifth shell, O shell, has maximum 50 electrons. Now number of orbitals is given by n square and number of electrons is given by 2n square, where n is the principal quantum number or the main shell. So in my next video, I would try to give you a very simple model of atom, a very basic model of atom, which actually is not so. I put a disclaimer here that it is not actually so, but it is just a preliminary report for you people to understand how basically the electron might have placed itself. Thanks for now.